Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving into another exciting what-if scenario from High School DxD. What if issei was mael from 7 Deadly Sins? In this episode, we explore how issei's life changes when the reincarnated power of mael, the archangel, awakens within him. Starting from a seemingly ordinary life to a fateful encounter that changes everything, this story will keep you hooked. If you love epic crossovers and unique twists on your favorite characters, this one's for you. Let's jump into Chapter 3 of this incredible journey.
The Fall of the Archangel. The battlefield stretched endlessly under a crimson sky. Angels and demons clashed violently, their powers shaking the very earth beneath them. Mael, the Archangel of the Sun, stood at the heart of the chaos, his radiant presence a beacon of hope for the heavenly forces. Golden wings unfurled behind him, glowing with an intensity that pushed back the encroaching darkness. His armor, crafted from divine light, shimmered as he raised his blade, Solstice, a weapon said to hold the power of the sun itself. Every strike of his sword sent waves of light crashing into the hordes of demons, erasing them in blinding flashes. Archangel Mael, a voice called out amidst the chaos. Sariel, one of the 4 archangels, flew to his side, his face etched with worry. Their forces are endless. The Demon King himself has entered the fray. Mael's golden eyes narrowed, his grip tightening on Solstice. "Then it is time we ended this," he said, his voice calm yet filled with authority. "Gather the others and hold the line. I will face him myself." Sariel hesitated, but the unwavering resolve in Mael's gaze left no room for argument. With a reluctant nod, he departed, leaving Mael to prepare for the confrontation that would determine the fate of the war. The skies grew darker as an oppressive energy descended upon the battlefield. The Demon King emerged from the shadows, his towering form radiating a malevolent aura. His dark armor seemed to devour the light around him, and his crimson eyes locked onto Mael with disdain. "So, the brightest star of the heavens dares to challenge me," the Demon King's voice boomed, laced with mockery. Mael stepped forward, his radiant aura intensifying. "Your reign of terror ends here," he declared, his voice carrying a power that silenced the battlefield. The 2 titans clashed, light and darkness colliding in an explosion that shook the heavens. Mael moved with unparalleled grace, his strikes swift and precise, each one imbued with the power of the sun. The Demon King countered with overwhelming force, his dark blade cutting through the air with devastating speed. The battle raged on, each blow creating shockwaves that leveled the surrounding terrain. Angels and demons alike ceased fighting, their attention drawn to the cataclysmic duel. Mael's every move was a testament to his skill and determination, but the Demon King's power was relentless. As the battle wore on, Mael began to falter. His once radiant wings were tattered, and his breaths came in ragged gasps. Yet, even as his strength waned, his resolve burned brighter than ever. Summoning the last of his energy, Mael ascended high into the sky, his body glowing like a second sun. "If I must fall," he said, his voice resonating across the battlefield, "then I will take you with me." With a roar, he unleashed Sun's judgment, a massive explosion of light that engulfed the battlefield. The sheer intensity of the attack blinded all who witnessed it, and for a moment, it seemed as though the Demon King had been defeated. But when the light faded, Mael fell to the ground, his body broken and his glow dimmed. The Demon King, though wounded, rose from the devastation, his dark aura still intact. "You fought valiantly," the Demon King sneered, his voice dripping with mockery. "But even the sun must set." With those words, he plunged a blade of pure darkness into Mael's heart. Pain surged through Mael's body, but he did not cry out. Instead, he closed his eyes and whispered prayer. "Let my light find a new vessel," he murmured, his voice barely audible. "A world where it can shine again." As the Demon King withdrew his blade, Mael's body began to dissolve into particles of light. The fragments scattered into the sky, disappearing into the heavens. The angels who remained wept for their fallen comrade, while the demons cheered their victory. But Mael's story was far from over. His essence, though shattered, carried with it a promise of rebirth, and the hope that one day his light would return to vanquish the darkness once and for all. The birth of Issei. Centuries passed after the fall of Mael, and the world moved on from the war that had shaped its history. The Holy War became legend, whispered in ancient texts and forgotten by most as the sands of time buried its significance. The fragments of Mael's essence remained hidden, waiting for a new vessel to carry the light of the sun. It was now the modern age, a time of bustling cities, quiet towns, and the hum of technology. In Kuo Town, a small, peaceful place surrounded by lush greenery, a baby's cry pierced the still night air. At that moment, the realms beyond the mortal world stirred. Mickey Hayuda lay in a hospital bed, exhausted but overjoyed, holding her newborn son in her arms. The boy's small face was scrunched up in protest at the cold air, his tiny fists waving weakly in the air. "He's beautiful," Mickey whispered, her eyes filled with tears of happiness. Goru Hayudu, standing beside her, smiled broadly. "He's got your eyes," he said, though the baby's dark brown eyes hadn't even opened fully yet. The nurse smiled as she handed Goru a birth certificate. "Have you decided on a name for him?" "Issei," Mickey said without hesitation, her voice soft yet firm. "Issei Hayudu." As the name left her lips, an unseen force rippled through the air. A sudden shockwave of energy erupted, invisible to the human eye, but felt across all realms. In the heavens, the angels stopped, their gazes turning toward the mortal world. The celestial light that pulsed through the heavens seemed to flare brighter for a moment before settling into an uneasy calm. In the realm of the fallen angels, the energy swept through like a harsh wind, unsettling even the most stoic of their ranks. Azazel, their leader, paused in his studies, his golden eyes narrowing. "What was that?" he murmured, his voice filled with both curiosity and unease. Hell itself trembled as the shockwave reached its depths. The oppressive darkness seemed to recoil, and the flames flickered as though struggling against an unseen force. The more powerful devils, including the 4 great Satans, felt the disturbance. "Such energy," Surzek's Lucifer muttered, his crimson eyes narrowing. "It feels familiar, yet impossible." In every realm, the same thought passed through the minds of those who felt it. Something, or someone, had been born, carrying a presence that had not been felt for centuries. Back in hospital, Issei's parents remained blissfully unaware of the significance of their child's birth. Unbeknownst to them, the baby they held was no ordinary child. Deep within his soul, something ancient stirred, a fragment of light long forgotten. The essence of Mael, dormant and waiting, had finally found its vessel. Years passed, and Issei grew into a lively and mischievous boy. He was a source of constant joy for his parents, even if his boundless energy often got him into trouble. From the moment he could walk, Issei had a knack for exploring places he shouldn't, much to the exasperation of his mother. "Issei," she called one afternoon, finding him on the roof of their house, reaching for a stray ball. "Get down from there right now." Issei grinned, his adventurous spirit undeterred by her scolding. "But, Mom, I almost got it." Though his life seemed ordinary, there were moments when something extraordinary peeked through. When Issei was 5, a neighbor's cat had been hit by a car. While everyone else panicked, Issei approached the injured animal with a strange calmness. He knelt beside it, his small hand resting on its fur. Without knowing why, he whispered, "It's okay. You'll be fine." A faint glow emanated from his hand, and when he pulled it away, the cat stood up, its injuries gone. Issei didn't understand what had happened, but he beamed with pride as the cat purred and rubbed against him. His parents, watching from a distance, were stunned. They exchanged worried glances, but decided not to mention it. "Maybe it was just a coincidence," Goru said, though neither of them truly believed it. As the years continued to pass, Issei's strange moments became more frequent. Sometimes he would instinctively avoid danger, dodging falling objects without realizing it. Other times, people around him would feel inexplicably comforted by his presence, as though a warm light surrounded him. Despite these oddities, Issei lived a relatively normal life. By the time he was a teenager, he was a typical high school student, or so he thought. He spent his days at Ko Academy, laughing with friends and trying to impress girls, though his attempts rarely succeeded. But within him, the fragment of mael's essence grew stronger. The light, though still dormant, began to stir as Issei's 16th birthday approached. One night, he had a strange dream. He was standing in a vast field of light, the warmth of the sun enveloping him. A figure stood in the distance, their golden wings shimmering. Who are you? Issei asked, his voice echoing in the empty expanse. The figure turned, their face obscured by the glow. You will remember when the time is right, they said, their voice both familiar and alien. Issei woke with a start, his heart pounding. The dream lingered in his mind, though he couldn't make sense of it. Shrugging it off, he got ready for another day at school, unaware that his ordinary life was about to change forever. It was a sunny afternoon, and Issei was hanging out with his two best friends, Matsuda and Motohama, near the school courtyard. The three self-proclaimed perverted trio were up to their usual antics, ogling girls and cracking jokes. Man, the girls at this school are amazing, Matsuda said, leaning against a tree with a mischievous grin. I think I saw one of the second years flash me a smile today. Motohama adjusted his glasses, which gleamed ominously in the sunlight. Highly doubtful. Statistically speaking, our chances of getting a girlfriend are less than 10%. Issei laughed, scratching the back of his head. Come on, guys, don't jinx it. Who knows? Maybe my luck will turn around soon. As if on cue, a sweet voice called out to him. Excuse me, are you Issei Hayaru? The trio turned to see a beautiful girl with long black hair and gentle brown eyes standing before them. She wore a light pink sweater and a shy smile that seemed to brighten the entire area. Issei froze, his heart skipping a beat. Why, that's me. The girl clasped her hands together nervously. My name is Yuma Amano. I've been watching you for a while, and I was wondering if you'd go out with me. The courtyard fell silent as Matsuda and Motohama gawked in disbelief. No way. Matsuda yelled, his voice cracking. Issei got a confession. This has to be a dream. Motohama muttered, adjusting his glasses frantically. Issei, stunned, pointed to himself. Wait me, are you serious? Yuma nodded, her cheeks flushing. I know it's sudden, but I really like you. Issei's face turned bright red. Of course. I'd love to go out with you. Over the next few days, Issei and Yuma spent time together, going on dates that made him feel like he was living in a dream. They visited the arcade, walked through the park, and even shared ice cream at a small cafe. For the first time in his life, Issei felt genuinely happy. However, that happiness was short-lived. It was Sunday evening, and Yuma had asked Issei to meet her at the park where they'd first talked. The setting sun bathed the area in a warm, golden glow. Issei arrived early, his heart pounding with anticipation. When Yuma appeared, she looked more beautiful than ever, her black hair flowing gently in the breeze. Thanks for coming, Issei, she said softly. Of course. I wouldn't miss it for the world, he replied with a wide grin. What's up? You seemed a little serious on the phone. Yuma's smile faded, and she stepped closer to him. Issei, there's something I need to tell you. Issei's expression grew concerned. What is it? You can tell me anything. Her eyes darkened, and her voice turned cold. I'm sorry, Issei. This is where it ends. Before he could react, a glowing light spear materialized in her hand. With a swift motion, she plunged it into his chest. Issei gasped, the pain overwhelming him as blood spilled from the wound. Why, Yuma, W.Y. Yuma's form shifted, revealing her true identity. Black wings spread from her back, and her sweet demeanor was replaced with a cruel smirk. My name isn't Yuma. It's Reiner. And you were nothing more than a tool, issei Hayudu. A stepping stone in my mission to eliminate threats to our kind. Issei fell to his knees, his vision blurring as his life slipped away. The ground beneath him grew cold, and the golden glow of sunset seemed to dim. In the heavens, the dormant fragment of mael's essence flared to life, reacting to Issei's impending death. A faint pulse of energy rippled across the realms, felt by angels, fallen angels, and devils alike. As darkness consumed him, Issei's mind filled with fragmented images, golden wings, a radiant sun, and a voice calling his name. This can't be. How it ends, he whispered before collapsing. Issei Hayuda's consciousness floated in an endless void. It was cold and silent, yet a faint warmth stirred deep within him. His body no longer ached, and the searing pain of Reiner's betrayal felt like a distant memory. Where am I? He murmured, his voice echoing in the emptiness. A brilliant light suddenly illuminated the darkness, and Issei instinctively shielded his eyes. From the radiance emerged a figure, tall, regal, and bathed in a golden glow. His white robe shimmered like the sun, and his 6 majestic wings spread out in a display of power. The figure spoke, his voice resonating with authority and compassion. Do not fear, young one. You are in the realm between life and death. Issei lowered his hands, staring in awe. Who are you? The figure smiled softly. I am Mael, the archangel of the sun. Mael. Issei repeated, confused. Why are you here? What does this have to do with me? Mael stepped closer, his gaze piercing yet kind. You are my successor, Issei Hayudu. Long ago, I fell in battle against the darkness, but a fragment of my essence survived. It has lain dormant within you, waiting for the day when it would awaken. Issei's eyes widened. Wait, what? Successor? What are you talking about? I'm just a normal guy. I can't be whatever it is you're saying. The archangel chuckled. You are far from ordinary, Issei. The moment you were born, the realms trembled. The light within you is powerful, but it has yet to fully manifest. Reiner's betrayal, though tragic, has accelerated the awakening of your true potential. Images flashed in Issei's mind. His strange ability to heal, the warmth he often felt deep inside, and the dream of the golden figure. I don't understand, Issei said, his voice shaking. Why me? I never asked for this. Mael placed a reassuring hand on Issei's shoulder. No one chooses their destiny, but they can choose how to embrace it. Your journey will be fraught with challenges, but you will not face them alone. Stand strong, and let the light guide you. Before Issei could respond, the void around him began to ripple. Mael's form started to fade, his glowing presence dimming. Wait, Issei called out. What am I supposed to do? How do I use this power? Mael's voice echoed as his figure disappeared into the light. Trust in yourself, Issei. You will find the answers in time. Rise, my successor, and reclaim the light. Issei gasped as his eyes snapped open. He was lying on the cold ground in a park, the stars above twinkling faintly. The wound on his chest was gone, and though his body felt heavy, a strange energy coursed through him. He sat up, his mind racing. That wasn't a dream, was it? The memory of Mael's words lingered, and Issei clenched his fists. A faint golden glow radiated from his hands, surprising him. What the? He muttered, staring at the light. The sound of flapping wings broke his concentration. Issei looked up to see Reiner hovering above him, her expression one of shock and disbelief. How are you alive? She demanded, her voice trembling. Issei stood slowly, his gaze locking onto hers. The betrayal still burned in his heart, but now it was accompanied by a newfound determination. I don't know how, he said, his voice steady. But I'm not the same as I was before. Rainair snarled, summoning another light spear. It doesn't matter. I'll just kill you again. As she hurled the spear, Issei's instincts took over. Raising his hand, he created a shield of golden light that absorbed the attack. Rainair's eyes widened in horror. Impossible. That power. It can't be. Issei took a step forward, the golden glow around him intensifying. I don't know what's happening to me, but I'm not going to let you hurt anyone else. Rainair hesitated, fear evident in her eyes. This isn't over. Issei Hayudu, she hissed before retreating into the night sky. As the adrenaline faded, Issei sank to his knees, the golden light dimming. His mind swirled with questions, but one thing was clear. His life had changed forever. The morning sun rose, casting warm rays of light over the Hayuda household. Issei sat at the kitchen table, his thoughts still lingering on the events of the previous night. His chest felt fine, yet he couldn't shake the memory of Rainair's betrayal or the strange encounter with Mael. Issei, are you all right? You've barely touched your breakfast, his mother said, glancing at him with concern as she poured tea. Issei snapped out of his thoughts, forcing a smile. Yeah, Mom. Just didn't sleep well, I guess. His father chuckled from across the table, sipping his coffee. Probably dreaming about girls again, huh? You really need to focus on more important things, son. Dad. Issei groaned, scratching the back of his head in embarrassment. As they laughed, a knock at the front door interrupted the moment. Strange, his mother said, setting down the teapot. We're not expecting anyone. I'll get it, Issei offered, eager for a distraction. When Issei opened the door, he was met by a man who appeared to be in his mid-20s. The stranger wore simple yet elegant clothing, a white shirt, beige pants, and a light gray overcoat. His short blonde hair glowed faintly in the sunlight, and his piercing blue eyes radiated a calm yet commanding presence. Good morning, the man said with a warm smile. You must be Issei Hayudu. Issei blinked in surprise. Yeah, that's me. Who are you? Before the man could answer, Issei's mother appeared behind him, wiping her hands on a towel. Issei, who's at the doors? The man turned his gaze toward her, bowing slightly. My apologies for the unannounced visit. My name is Michael. Michael. His mother tilted her head, studying the man. Are you a friend of Issei's? Issei stammered, and no, I don't. Michael raised a hand gently. We have not met before, but I have come to speak with your son. It's regarding something very important. His father joined them at the door, crossing his arms. Important, huh? What's this about? Michael's calm demeanor didn't falter. I assure you, it's nothing to be concerned about. I only ask for a moment of Issei's time. Issei's parents exchanged uncertain looks. His mother finally sighed. All right, but you'll understand if we're cautious. Issei, if you need anything, just call us. Issei nodded, stepping outside and closing the door behind him. He turned to Michael, his curiosity mixed with unease. All right, who are you really? And why are you here? Michael smiled, his eyes softening. As I said, my name is Michael, but I suspect Mael's essence within you has already given you a hint as to who I am. Issei froze, the weight of the name sinking in. Michael, as in the Archangel Michael? Michael nodded. Correct. I came to check on you after the events of last night. Your awakening sent a powerful shockwave across the realms. It was felt in heaven, hell, and even the realm of the fallen angels. Issei's mind reeled. That energy, that was me. Yes, Michael confirmed. It marked the reawakening of Mael's power within you. Many forces will take notice of this, and not all of them will have noble intentions. The gravity of Michael's words settled heavily on Issei. So, what happens now? Am I supposed to do something? Michael placed a reassuring hand on Issei's shoulder. For now, you need to focus on understanding your new abilities. The light within you is powerful, but it is also unrefined. I can provide guidance when the time comes. Issei hesitated. Why me? Why did Mael choose me? Michael's gaze was gentle but firm. You were not chosen by chance, issei. Your heart, though burdened with doubts, carries great potential. Mael saw something in you, a spark that can illuminate even the darkest of paths. Before issei could respond, the front door opened slightly, and his mother peeked out. Everything okay out here? Michael turned to her with a polite smile. Yes, ma'am. I was just reassuring your son about some matters he's been dealing with recently. She glanced between them, her worry evident. Well, all right, just don't keep him out too long. Of course, Michael replied, bowing slightly. As the door closed, issei sighed. This is a lot to take in. I mean, I'm just a normal guy. Michael chuckled. You may feel that way now, but I assure you, issei, your journey is only beginning. When the time comes, you will understand your purpose. Michael stepped back, his expression serious. For now, stay vigilant. The fallen angels will not take kindly to your survival, and they may try again. Trust in yourself and those who truly care for you. Before issei could ask more questions, Michael's form shimmered, and he vanished in a soft golden light, leaving issei alone on the porch. Inside the house, issei's parents exchanged a glance. Something about that man felt different, his mother said quietly. His father nodded. But if he's looking out for issei, maybe that's a good thing. And with that, we bring this chapter to a close. Issei's journey is just beginning, filled with challenges, mysteries, and revelations waiting to unfold. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more what-if scenarios. Part 2 will be coming soon, so stay tuned. And until next time, see you in the next chapter.